Good day everybody and welcome to Adventures of Books. My name is Zeke and today I am doing a book review. So the book I decided to do a review on was The Girl with All the Gifts, and this is by M.R. Kari? So this book is about a girl. Well, it starts off with a girl. Her name is Melanie. And Melanie is pretty much like a zombie-like character. The whole book takes place kind of like in the future. Something has happened. The human race has become zombie-like. In the book, they're called hungries. And it's an interesting concept. These hungries, there's different stages of hungries. Adults are more like your classic, like, flesh-eating zombie kind of characters, and the children are more intelligent. They can think for themselves if taught, and they can kind of control themselves as the adults can't, because of what has happened to them. I'm trying to avoid spoilers, so or at least as many as possible, so some of this might be a little confusing. So there's a military base. The little girl, she's a part of this, I guess you would say it was a project. They have a teacher. They get strapped into these chairs, wheeled into class, and they're taught the alphabet. They're taught stories, and she likes Greek mythology, and yeah. And then there's other characters like Mr. Parks, I think his name is, or Sergeant. I guess he's a sergeant. Sergeant Parks. He's kind of the one that wheels her to class and back to her locked up room. And it's interesting. There's a scientist in it that she's willing to do almost anything to find out the answers about this zombie thing. Is there a cure? And it's cool because there's different perspectives. You got the military guy and his perspective. You got the doctor or scientist and her perspective. You got the school teacher and her perspective. But you also have the girl, the student, and her whole perspective of things. It's very well written. Really liked about this book was it's not like Resident Evil where, oh, there's a virus and everybody died and then the virus brought people back as these flesh-eating monsters. The thing that happens in this book is a real life thing in our world that actually happens. And if you go onto Google and you type in, because I had to see if this was anything remotely believable, if you type in virus, like zombie ant fungus, you will find a lot of stuff on it, and it's identical. They explain a bit about that in the book, but it's kind of a mutated version in the book of how this, fungus has went from ants to humans, and how it's mutated, and it's a real thing in our world, except the human zombie part isn't. It's good. It's a different concept of zombies. They don't call them zombies, they're called hungries in the book. Like I said, I think I already mentioned that. Yeah. One thing that I didn't like about the book, I did give it a 3-star. So originally, when I first started, I was really enthralled. I was like, oh, this is kind of a different kind of story. One thing is, it went from being different to being kind of like what you expect any zombie book to turn into. I really did enjoy the ending. The ending was pretty good. It's kind of what you would maybe expect in a book like this, but I liked the ending. I just didn't like the turn that it was like it was something different, and then it just kind of turned into your normal adventure or action book. Also, I didn't like how just maybe 3/4 into it or halfway into it, our main character, which is Melanie, she kind of becomes a secondary character. At least I felt that she became more of a secondary character later on in the book. And your secondary characters like Sergeant Park, the school teacher, they become more like the main characters. I thought that was kind of weird and strange. I didn't really like it because I started following the main character. Those other characters had their own parts in the book, and then all of a sudden it just seemed to focus more on them and less on her. So those were kind of some of the biggest reasons why I gave it a 3-star, which is an average read. But it was good. I was actually surprised on how much I actually did enjoy this book, because I was actually kind of sketchy on buying this book, and I was sketchy on even when I got it, even reading it. It just kind of sat with the unread books forever, and then I broke down and read it, and I'm glad I did. It was really, really good. There is a prequel. It's not a sequel, it's a prequel called The Boy on the Bridge. I've read some reviews on it. I know a lot of people didn't like it as much as the first book, obviously. I might look into seeing about the second books. I guess this prequel takes place, something that happens in here later on is more answered here in this other book. So look into that. I can't tell you much what happens because I don't want to spoil the main story, but 3-star average read for me. It was good. I enjoyed it. I heard there was a movie, like I don't know how old it is, a movie made. I did find the movie trailer on YouTube. I don't think I'll ever bother looking into the movie. The movie doesn't really appeal to me in any ways. The book was more than great. I would read it again, honestly. It's on my keep shelf. There is some creepy parts to it. It's not really a trigger warning. It's just me saying there are some creepy parts in the book. The children that are infected are more than creepy. I thought the main Hungries were creepy, and then you start learning more about the Hungries as children, and it was a lot more creepier. But yeah, so that is that, and I did find this would be the prequel. Right there, they have a whole picture of the cover, so that's cool. Definitely, it's worth it if you like that kind of end of the world scenario. Zombies, if you like something that's a little chilling and some action in it, this is probably a really good book. If you like, I know it's not the newest book out there. I think it's 2014, so it's not the newest book out there, but it was good. I liked it. I would read it again. I think I would probably enjoy it just as much the second time around. I'm more excited to read the prequel, and I might even look into eventually seeing what else this author has written. Yeah, so that is pretty much all I'm going to talk about this book. We will see you all around, and I hope you all have a good day.